Okay, we're going to hop into questions. We'll begin with Ryan Aber, the Oklahoman, and then go to Joe Bettner.
Yeah, Alex, I know we've talked a lot about turnovers over the last really since you arrived. Didn't come in the numbers you'd like last year. How do you feel about that aspect of things as this season enters, and how's the emphasis changed from year one to year two?
Well, I don't know that we could emphasize it anymore, and that's just reality of it. Now, why isn't it sticking? And are we going to default to what so many people default to and say, well, we just were unlucky and we're not going to go down that road? And so, no, what you do is you continue to emphasize it. I think the other thing that you highlight is the impact of the ones that we did get. Finishing a game down. Nick Benito down in Waco. TCU Buki making a play. Part of Motley making a play against Iowa State. And so when we say takeaways equal victory, don't tell me I'm wrong. And what impact other games could have gone. Whether it's the ultimate outcome of the game, maybe it's creating 2 more scoring opportunities for our offense, so on and so forth. And so no, that controls games. It will never change in our sport, and it will be emphasized as long as they allow me to stand in front of the room.
Appreciate it, Alex.
Okay, Joe Bettner with Norman Transcript, and then Jason Kersey.
Yeah, Alex, I want to ask you about Perrion Winfrey, just how he's stepped into the program this year and what contributions he's already, I guess, made through fall camp.
Well, I think with all those first-year guys, number one, you got to do it on game day, okay? But I will say extremely excited about him. He's had an impactful fall camp on a play-in and play-out basis. Obviously was highly, ranked, recruited, but we got the guy we thought we got, and so we'll manage expectations until he does it on a Saturday night, but been excited about Perrion through camp and excited to watch him play on Saturday night.
Jason Kersey, the Athletic, and then Eric Bailey.
Yeah, Alex, kind of similar to that question. I mean, how are you feeling about your defensive line depth overall? You've lost some guys, and obviously the situation with Ronnie remains up in the air. Where are you? How do you feel about that?
Well, facts trump feelings, and so the fact of the matter is that those individuals that get opportunities have to go produce, and so and as you look at it, you say. What probably the biggest frustration as a coach is when an individual has an opportunity based on injury or based on circumstance, and all of a sudden you put them out there and they don't take advantage of it. And you say, how have I failed as a coach to provide you this opportunity? Now, it may have not been my choice to provide you with the opportunity, but the opportunity nonetheless as it presented itself. How could you not be ready for it? And so with all those things, there's a lot of guys that are recruited to play high-level football at Oklahoma. The expectation is that they do just that. When their number's called, we expect them to perform. So those are the facts. And then I think there's several guys that have embraced that opportunity up until this point, and obviously have to do it on game day.
Eric Bailey, Tulsa Whirl, and then Caleb McCory.
Hey, Alex, when you inherit players, you have to really take time to get to know them. What did you first recognize about Trey Brown 20 months ago? And did you recognize that he could be a key playmaker on defense?
What I saw in Trey Brown probably 20 months ago was inconsistency. And I would tell Trey Brown that if he was sitting here today, and he could try to mount an argument. I win it if we had that conversation. You saw ability, you saw speed, you saw too much of a reliance on that speed. As opposed to techniques and fundamentals. And Coach Manning's done a tremendous job with our corner room. And so credit goes to him, but also credit goes to Trey Brown for buying in and working. When I say he's made, just a real jump this fall camp, I say that not in a critique of him a year ago. I just see more consistent play. And I see a guy that is trying to make an impact on a down in and down out basis. And a guy that's not, just a speed guy anymore, a guy that's just trying to mix it up and use techniques and fundamentals. I think that'll, it will serve him this year if he commits to it on game day, which we expect him to.
Alex.
Caleb McCory, OU Daily, and then Kerry Murdoch.
Coach, a few weeks ago, you said after the first scrimmage that the tackling wasn't that great and the physicality. 3 days before the game, where do you think that is right now? And how tough do you think it is for this season to actually develop physicality and in tackling ability, especially when you've missed so much training this year?
Yeah, no, certainly it's improved over the last couple of weeks. We had another scrimmage in between that, then we did a couple more days of live and some live tackle drills and stuff like that. So certainly feel better than I did whatever that was 3 weeks ago, something along those lines. But no, it's something you got to be conscious of. You think about any time this game is not played on Zoom. This game, needs to be played to improve at, like every sport. When you talk about numbers, and if there's X number of guys out of practice, well, that obviously hurts you depth-wise, but it also increases the workload for the individuals who are out there. And so you got to be smart from a physicality standpoint. How much is the appropriate load on these individuals? But no, that's something that's ongoing. It's something that you look at every week, kind of poses some new challenges. But knowing also that it requires that, and practice requires a physical element of things. So that's something that's ongoing.
Thanks, Alex.
Gary Murdoch with Sooner Scoop and the Sports Animal.
Hey, Alex. Have you had to talk to your players, or do you have to talk to your players about, being able to bring more energy out there on defense with, not having as many fans in the stands? I don't know what the atmosphere is going to look like, but do you worry that that's an issue at all, or that you and your coaches have to bring more energy to game days?
Yeah, I think one of the critiques maybe that I would have a year ago is sometimes waiting for a play to create energy. We'll get energy after X happens, and that's with 80-some thousand in the stands. No, I think that's a constant. I try to remind these guys, they didn't have 80,000 at Iowa Western, they didn't have 80,000 at NEO. That those high school games. Even for the boys down in Texas, didn't include 80,000. And so at some point in your football career, you decided it was about, the challenge in front of you, which obviously is your opponent. It was about executing. It was about enjoying what you're doing despite who was in row 3. And so that's just something that's a responsibility of our guys. But have we talked about it? You bet we have. Talked about it today. The music went down in practice today. Now what? I don't like the song in practice. How do I feel? And all those things. And so that's something that is responsible on our part to attack and manage.